Well, I think definitely you have to be driven, you have to be motivated.
Well, I think, to me, I'm an entrepreneur. And I think that true entrepreneurs, it doesn't really matter what's going on in the economy. I think a lot of people want somebody to hold their hand through the process. And really, that's not the best way. There's no special formula that's right for every single person.
And I'll leave you with two little sayings that I have. One, the one thing in life that you can control is your own effort. Period, end of story. Two, it doesn't matter how many times you fail, you only have to be right one time.
When I see that person, I know that no matter what, even if they have to pivot, which is something that happens, maybe this isn't the best idea, but something else is, and you're going to change it, they're still going to make it because they have what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur.
You need to try your best to buy the real estate you're doing business in as quick as you can, no matter how small the space is.
I look at reviews as ways to learn about what needs to be improved, what changes I might need. If there's a quality problem with a product, you're going to hear about it in a review. But if it's a negative review that's just for negativity's sake, well, that's ridiculous and that's just bad karma. Well, I think that startups should, one, be willing to do everything that it takes to make their startup work. A lot of people say, oh, well, I just want to do it for a few hours a day. That's not going to happen. If you want to start your own business, you really need to put in the time and the dedication, and that means 24/7 if need be. Well, I think, to me, I'm an entrepreneur, and I think that true entrepreneurs, it doesn't really matter what's going on in the economy. If they come up with a great business idea, great product, they're risk takers. They're going to go for it. It doesn't matter if the taxes are up 5%. It doesn't matter what is going on with that. They are people that just are pioneers. They're going to forge ahead and start that business no matter what. Well, for sure. There are certain characteristics that people have. I mean, to me, an entrepreneur is somebody who will do whatever it takes.
Right.
They're driven. They are A-type personalities. It's like they don't know the word no. And that's always been my mantra. I know no knows, just how can I? So when I see that person, I know that no matter what, even if they have to pivot, which is something that happens, maybe this isn't the best idea, but something else is, and you're going to change it, they're still going to make it because they have what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur.
One important thing is to always be learning. Understanding technology has always been really important to me, and it's opened up new doors. My first business, we were the first company in the early 90s to do streaming, back when it was called netcasting. I started the first all high-definition TV network. It's really created a lot of opportunities for me.
You need to try your best to buy the real estate you're doing business in as quick as you can, no matter how small the space is, whether it be a store, an office, a kitchen. You can control your business better if you're not giving the profits to the landlords. I opened 20 offices building my business, and out of those 20 offices, I bought 3 buildings. And when I sold my business for $66 million, those 3 buildings were worth more than $66 million, simply because I was smart enough to buy them.
What are some of the key traits to being a successful inventor?
Well, I think definitely you have to be driven, you have to be motivated, you have to have passion. You have to be somebody who, like I said, there are no no's. If I have an obstacle, I go over it, I go under it, I go around it.
Right.
You just don't quit.
What do you find to be the most stressful thing about building a business? And what do you do in order to deal with it?
I think the most stressful thing is probably the expectations, right? That comes from the outside. I honestly believe you're only as good as your last launch. I never ever drink the Kool-Aid, ever.
Smart,
and
yeah.
I think that, I happen to work in extremely high profile businesses where everything that we do is scrutinized. And with that comes a level of stress. It comes back to that thing of being very ritualistic. I, am militant about the things that work for me. I suffer with migraines. I get super, I carry stress like in my body. And so it's like, I get up very early, I wake up, I work out, I meditate, I make sure I have to be up before my children are up because I need quiet time. I need time to focus.
I think a lot of people don't trust their gut enough. I think a lot of people want somebody to hold their hand through the process. And really, that's not the best way. There's no special formula that's right for every single person. You have to decide, do you like Kickstarter? Do you feel that's right for you? Or, people have other ways in which to do things. So I think it's know your options and then pick what feels right and will work with you. I think it's super important when investing in a business that the entrepreneurs are people that you want to be working with. I mean, it's important to me that I enjoy the person, that they're ethical, they're honest, that they're hardworking. There are certain traits that I just like, but if I don't like that person, then every day is a nightmare. Excitement is infectious. What's interesting is when somebody, they might come in with something where I'm kind of neutral about it. Like I think it might be good or a clever idea, but I'm not over the moon about it.
You have such a very confident demeanor. What got you to that place? Or did you always have that level of security?
You know, I was raised by a single mum. I'm one of 4 girls, and I think that my mum did an amazing job of instilling that confidence in us. You know, she taught me, like, Emma, you're not better than anyone else, but nor is anyone better than you. And I really grew up believing that. I really felt like if I work hard enough, anything is possible. And in East London, I was surrounded by people that were really hustlers, but they were trying their hardest. They were doing whatever they could to make a buck. And that's just in my spirit. You know, for me, I'm a trier. I'm going to keep doing, I'm going to keep learning. And so much of what this podcast is about, you know, I think of myself as a lifelong learner. I'm always in learning mode, right? It's like the more you learn, the more you earn.
So sometimes products get bad reviews. How do you handle a bad review of your product?
Well, you know, I am reviewed so consistently. I mean, it's constant. I have a lot of products on QVC or in retail stores, and people are always writing reviews. So, you know, you have to take it with a grain of salt. I look at reviews as ways to learn about what needs to be improved, what changes I might need. If there's a quality problem with a product, you're going to hear about it in a review. But if it's a negative review that's just for negativity's sake, well, that's ridiculous, and that's just bad karma.
Why do most businesses fail? Number 1, sales. No business has ever succeeded without sales. End of story. Number 2, preparation. When you go to start a business, have you done all the homework to know about your industry, your competition, your products, the profitability, your customer base? You need to know these things. 3, effort. It is not easy starting and running a business. It's hard. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
What drove me to want to be an entrepreneur is really, truly, I just always knew I wanted to be the ruler of my own destiny and run my own business and be in business for myself. And it was a great choice.
And I'll leave you with 2 little sayings that I have. 1, the one thing in life that you can control is your own effort. Period, end of story. 2, it doesn't matter how many times you fail, you only have to be right one time. And then everybody can call you an overnight success all the way to the bank.
It's very sweet because to me, business is not just business. My life, I have one life, and my life I feel is important. I should fill it with good people, happiness, business and pleasure, loving, and that means a lot to me. So I want entrepreneurs that will fit in my family.
How do you balance as a woman? Because it's hard to sort of, you know, be an entrepreneur, be focused on business, but then you also have family.
When you're an entrepreneur, it's really a 24/7 thing.
Right.
There isn't really work-life balance. You have to be committed and willing to work Sundays, Saturdays, evenings. It's not where you can just say, it's 9 to 5, I'm leaving. So I think the truth is that you should try to involve your family in your business. That's what I think works for me.
And then lastly, what is your favorite quote to live by?
Oh, you can make anything happen.
You've heard it right here.